She was on the cover of Rolling Stone. They showed him behind her, all black. All you saw was like, I guess the bottom of him or something. Not really, but he had his hands on her boobs, covering up her nipples, only her nipples. And she was just standing like this with no shirt on and jeans. She looked real cute. It was nice. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was excited about it. You know, Teyana Taylor, what was her name? Mariah Carey. Everybody was coming into, oh, it was hot. It was just the best thing at that time. Okay, yeah, that's nice and everything. But from what we just saw, all of the exploitation by her boyfriend, that didn't look right. You know what I'm saying? It looked kind of suspect. Like, you know, he's really like using her for her body, for her sexuality, for the fact that she's a woman. It was just doing too much. And then on top of that, why did he have to be behind her like that? Why couldn't she be like this? You know what I'm saying? I think that would have been sufficient enough for her to just cover her own self up and did a little, you know, and maybe her shoulders could have did some shit. But like, why did he have to stand back? And she just looked like she was bothered. They had several copies of the same photo, and a couple of them, she really looked bothered, like she was innocent. She was just going with the flow, like, you know, she didn't know what she was doing, but she was doing it. One of them looks. So yeah, y'all. So y'all, in 1993, okay, Renee, the boyfriend, directs again, okay? And I love this song, y'all, okay? It is so pretty, and it just speaks of, and y'all should look it up if y'all don't know, but it just speaks of a love that you keep letting in, and you saying it's over, and you want it to be over, but your heart is so heavy, and you think you love the person that much that you keep letting them back in, and they keep hurting you. You know what I mean? So that song, and then the melody of it, the music of it. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis made the music to the song, and it is just so pretty. Kinda late in the game, and my heart is in your hand. Don't you stand there and then tell me you love me, then leave again. Damn, 'cause I'm falling in love with you again. A wounded heart you gave, my soul you took away. Good intentions you had many, I know you did. I come from a place that hurts, and God knows how I've cried. And I never want to return, never fall again. Making love to you, it felt so good and ooh, so right. Don't you stand there and then tell me you love. Y'all ready? Me then live again. I swear I be singing. Y'all be doing too goddamn much, okay? Girl, your girl can't sing, but you know what? In my head, she can sing a little something, girl, okay? And you can't tell me nothing when them words come and the beat come and everything else, y'all. I love music. Okay, but nah, that song is really, really nice, and I really love that song. Hey, everybody, it's your girl, sassyshawntice. I'm coming back with another video. Yes, honey, back with another one. Girl, y'all, did y'all get into the second part of Janet Jackson's documentary? So good, so informative. So much more this time about Janet than the last episode. Y'all know they had to work us up really to show us her background, how she became Janet, you know, the making of Janet. So yeah, now this second episode like gave us a lot. So basically, y'all, Janet received 8 Billboard magazine awards for Rhythm Nation, okay? And 7 of her top 5 singles broke the record of Thriller. You know, so Rhythm Nation made way more money than Thriller, and maybe that's why Mike started changing and acting funny, you know, towards her. You know, I'm not really sure. I don't think Janet would admit that on this show, but I think that's probably what it was, because she did say he started acting different around Thriller. But maybe that's when his head started getting a little bit, you know, high in the clouds and everything, and he thought that he was all of that in the bag of chips, and then her numbers came out for Rhythm Nation, and yeah, he was mad because she probably was feeling herself and sold more records to him, you know. So maybe Mike was salty about that, but we'll never know, because we no longer have Mike, and she's not going to admit that. I know Janet not going to admit anything like that. And then, y'all, they went on to say that she was the highest paid recording artist ever, and I don't think that that's true. You know, they have the numbers, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know I think, you know, deep, and I'm always, you know, having everything going in my mind. But I just think that Michael made more than her, you know, as far as a recording artist. That's how I think, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that's where Janet gets mad, because she's tired of being in his light, and, you know, everybody's thinking, oh, she needs to live up to Michael, or whoever needs to live up to the Jackson's name because of Michael. Maybe that's where that comes in with thought processes like me, because I just think that Michael is the beginning and the end and the end all be all. So, like, and I just think that he was the highest paid recording artist. You know, I just don't believe that she was over top him. Then maybe she did make more as far as an album, but I just don't think, you know, overall. That's just me. So, Poetic Justice, okay? Y'all, I love this movie, and I've been meaning to sit down and watch it again. You know, I've already seen it probably 3 times, but you can never watch this movie, you know, enough, because first of all, honey, Tupac is in, okay? So y'all know I love Tupac. That is my second husband, and yeah, that's just how it is, girl. And when she die and go to heaven, she's going to meet her twin brother, okay, Quentin, and she's also going to see Tupac, you know, and her grandparents. But at the end of the day, y'all, I love Poetic Justice, and it's such a love story, you know what I'm saying? And why not with, you know, really nice looking people like Janet Jackson and Tupac, honey, okay? But anyway, y'all, John Singleton, you know, directed this movie. And, yeah, I was just wondering, like, why did she agree to be in it? I mean, she didn't want to be in Fame or Good Times. Maybe that's just because she was younger and she was being forced to do it by Joseph, her father. But I was just wondering what made her want to do this movie. You know what I'm saying? Is it because you like the Tupac, or like, what was that, girl? Okay, but that probably wasn't it. I'm just playing. I don't know why she decided to be in. Maybe she just wanted to change. You know what I mean? They show Arsenio Hall having an interview. Y'all know he used to have a like late night talk show, and with the woo 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 all that. And I was telling my husband when I saw Tupac on, I was like, dang, like Arsenio Hall, y'all, has interviewed a lot of people back then. You know what I'm saying? He interviewed everybody. The last interview I saw H-Town, somebody rockin', knockin' others. That they was on there, and I was just like, oh my God, like whenever you see an interview go on for back in the day, Salt and Pepper, like whenever you see an interview go on, Arsenio Hall interviewed everybody. You know what I mean? So kudos to Arsenio Hall, okay, girls? So he's sitting there and he asking Tupac, you know, is she a good kisser? You kissed Janet Jackson. He was like, yeah, she a good kisser. And he was like, well, what about her boyfriend? Where was he at? And Tupac was like, well, he was over there in the audience talking about Renee. Y'all know Janet's boyfriend, Renee. And yeah, he was like, well, was you afraid? Was you intimidated? He was like, no. Tupac was like, no, I wasn't intimidated. It made me want to kiss her even more. I said, okay, girl. They always said that he had a crush on her. Like, you'll hear to this day, they'll be like, Tupac had a crush on her and Jada Pinkett. And I don't like Jada Pinkett, y'all. We'll get into that some other time if something else come up. But they be doing too much in the tabloids right now. Her and Will Smith, y'all just sitting up there telling all y'all minutes, and y'all not even exciting no more. The behind the scenes, like not letting us know about anything. Like it's not even any suspicion behind, you know, your relationship or anything. They just telling all their business, and they got on top of that Will Smith looking like a bitch. Like, I'm not here for their relationship. I never have been, because I just don't care for their relationship. But at the end of the day, like, they whack. They starting to be whack. And you would think they would have a little bit more kudos about themselves, because, you know, they are the Jay-Z and Beyonce of, like, you know, I guess Hollywood and everything. But they being messy, you know. How did I get on this topic? I don't know. But, Tupac. So that was one of his crushes too, Jada Pinkett, but they was like, he really liked Janet. And so Regina King was saying how, you know, she had a little secret crush on Tupac too, but, you know, Janet would never admit that, you know. And she was like, when they was on set, you can cut the tension with a knife, you know. That's how much Janet, you know, really liked him. She had the perfect combination, y'all. Paula Abdul for the choreography, you know what I'm saying? Then turn around, had Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis for the producing, you know what I'm saying? And then Renee, because Renee was a bad motherfucker, y'all. I'm telling y'all. And I don't mean to cuss, I'm sorry, just cuss. Y'all, Renee was a bad girl, honey, okay? And was a blessing to Janet, because Janet was all like with the Rhythm Nation stuff in the beginning, and you know, she had the little, it just wasn't sensual and sexy. And all of a sudden, they did this again video. And that's when Renee was like, you know, they should try to, you know, maybe let everybody explore who Janet really is. You know what I'm saying? Bring out the sensual and sexy, because he said that's who she was for real. And I thought that was cute. You know, he wanted the world to see her in that moment, because she's shy, and in that way, because she's shy and just sexy. You know, she has a lot of sex appeal. And so that's when the sexy Janet came on. You know, Miss Janet, if you're nasty, honey. nasty boy, give me a nasty. I ain't gonna start singing, y'all. Let me stop. But yeah, he basically, like I said, wanted to show her more sensual side, and she was with it. She was like, her family, she's not used to all that. But she was like, she wanted to do it, so she did it just to, explore, herself and do something different. So that was basically the beginning of the making of Sexy Janet. Because y'all know before that, she was just doing, like I said, all the Rhythm Nation stuff. I miss you, ma. All that stuff, very like organized, like dancing and stuff. And now it's just like real sexual, sensual, feminine and just like cute, and what would sell more than you know what I'm saying? That's what sells, and Renee knew it. So yeah, the part that got me was the way that he can stand there and watch, what goes on in her video. The guy that she's doing the video with, he's basically taking this like belt out of Janet Jackson's stomach and like touching her and kissing her and all this stuff. And they just being like real provocative. And yeah, her boyfriend is standing right there. I guess her husband at the time, Renee, was standing right there. And he asked Janet, he was like, they had a conversation about it like right then and there. And he was like, how does your boyfriend feel about that? And she was like, oh, well, he's right there. He's over there. He's the one that's telling us to do all of this. And he said he even felt uncomfortable. So like, and then Renee kind of sort of looked uncomfortable, but he didn't. You know what I'm saying? And at one point, Janet was sitting on a chair and Renee was in the back of her, and he was like, yeah, talking about the other guy who was, doing all the little kissing or whatever and touching in her pants, pulling out some type of thing out of her pants, a belt out of her pants. And he was telling Janet, he could just sit on the back of your chair, like right by you, your head right here, with his legs open. I'm like, what? Janet even looked uncomfortable when he said that. So, anything for fame is what it seemed like he was doing. And it really seemed like at the end of the day that he was exploiting her. I looked right at my husband. I was like, he is exploiting her. He was like, damn, baby, that's exactly what I was thinking. And then, y'all, on top of that, make it so bad, right after that, you see him, because she was on the cover of Rolling Stone. They showed him behind her, all black. All you saw was like, I guess the bottom of him or something. Not really, but he had his hands on her boobs, covering up her nipples, only her nipples. And she was just standing like this with no shirt on and jeans. I wasn't for the relationship even in the beginning when I told you on my last video, they was in a hotel and he was up there, recording her and telling her why she need to do this and be the biggest star because she got all this talent and all this. It just seemed like he was coaching her, and it was too much, girl, because I just got off and away from Joe. So I don't really need to be hearing all this from you. But yeah, y'all, Renee ended up being a blessing in her, like as far as her career, so I guess God bring people in your life for a reason. And yeah, he brought out the sexuality in Janet and gave us Janet, you know what I'm saying? Gave us who Janet is. So kudos to him and her. But at the end of the day, they ended up getting divorced, okay? Because he ended up having a drug problem, like I was saying. He ended up having an opioid problem. And yeah, that was sad because she said that he started changing even more and stuff like that. But did y'all see the part where they were saying, basically, the choreography girl was saying how he just was always recording stuff, and it was weird the way he would do it. Like, and everything he did and they did, he was always there with his camera, and it was just like too much. At one point, like, she was walking up and she was mad, so she just had her finger up like, yeah, okay, you recording again. And then at another time, Janet Jackson had surprised her mother in Hawaii. She took her and her staff, her people, to Hawaii. And Janet is all excited seeing her mother. And it's like a moment, you know what I'm saying, for her and her mother. And he got to record on it. And he's something, yeah, kiss your mother again, kiss your mother. She was like, what? That's basically ruining the moment. I can't do that. He's like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just killing the whole vibe of the whole moment. And he was just being pressed at times, but y'all, at the end of the day, like, we got to see a lot, you know what I'm saying? I can appreciate that as a fan, but in the midst of it, I know that's fucking irritating, you know what I'm saying? I can't even imagine. She suffered because of, her career suffered because of being affiliated with Michael and his last name, the Jackson. She was talking about, too, how, she was guilty by association because of the Jackson name, because of what Michael Jackson had been accused of as far as molesting boys, kids. And she was about to get a Coca-Cola deal signed, and They were about to sign it, everything. They showed them in the office talking to her and all that stuff, and she was with it. Everybody was with it, and all of a sudden, like, they found out, like, that day or the next day, something, it was real close timing. They found out the allegations about her brother Mike, and yeah, they just was like, no, thank you, honey. We don't want to work with you, no. And she was seeming like she was really upset about that, like mad. She didn't seem like she was hurt. She seemed like she was mad, you know. So basically, yeah, she said the allegations did affect her in her life, you know, but she know that her brother would not do anything like that. You know, that's just not him. That's what she said. That's Janet's words. That is not him. But question, did he take up for her sufficient enough? Do y'all think when that Nipplegate thing happened? Because he was in an interview and they was asking him, you know, do you think that she did this on purpose, or, you know, how was Janet on? He was like, no, well, I just told her that, you know, this too shall pass. He never was like, you know, well, Janet wouldn't do anything like that. That's not my sister. How she was taking up for him. I just think Mike became a hater of Janet. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to believe it, but the way that he was acting in the interview was just real, like, matter of fact, like he wasn't taking up for his sister and just did not have her back. Like, he just seemed real cold and nonchalant about it. So, like I was saying, y'all know he had, you know, child molestation allegations, and she basically kept saying how the family was so supportive of him, and they just wanted, you know, everybody to see Michael in a different light because he just wouldn't do that, you know. But the controversy wrapped around everything was just like detrimental to her whole life, to her career, you know, to her other brothers and sisters. Like, everybody took a real bad hit with these allegations that, you know, he was molesting boys or kids. So after she finished the Janet tour, y'all, Mike wanted to do a song with her. Y'all know the song Scream. So yeah, it was supposed to be a thing where, you know, he shows the world that it wasn't how he is. It's not the person that he is. He's getting accused of stuff that he just wouldn't do. Janet wanted to be supportive of him and say, look, this is not my brother. And just, you know, come out, you know, swinging hard at the world saying, like, this is just not something that, you know, I would do, and I'm not guilty, you know. And the whole world is blaming me for something that I'm not doing, and I need everybody to know, and I'm mad, I'm angry, and I'm hurt, and yeah, I need to, you know, get this out in the song. So she agreed to doing a song with him. So they're sitting there in just like a regular room, you know, and it's so cute how they were as brothers and sisters. And I felt for Mike in this moment, you know, because he was really telling Janet about, you know, her part of the song. And he basically telling her, you know, your first line, when you come in, people are going to want to hear you, you know, go right in. It needs to be fired. You know, you need to kill it. You know, basically telling her, speak up for me. You know what I'm saying? He knew that Janet was at the top of her game, you know, at that moment. And he just really needed his sister to help him, you know, and I was feeling him. And Mike, they were acting like brothers and sisters. And she was like, you know, okay, well, should I do it this way? Okay, well, I'm thinking I should do it this way. And they was really like vibing, you know, and it was such a moment with brothers and sisters, you know, in that room. And the room looked all normal, like one of us. It wasn't even like all like dolled up like Mike's house or Janet's house. It just was like a regular room. And it was just surreal and cute to watch. And it just seemed like Mike had, you know, was down and out in his time, and he needed his sister, you know, and Janet was the girl to help, you know. But then, you know, they later on show us, did you use her, Mike? Because that was really wrong of what went on, y'all. They said at the video shoot of Scream, and I didn't even notice. My husband had told me when it was, he was like, oh yeah, that's Scream. Yeah, that's the video. He started, you know, being all different with her. And I was like, what? Because I had never heard it, you know. But they were basically saying how, you know, Janet was like, you know, when she got on set, Michael would film his part of the video, okay, in the night, and then she would film in the day. And I'm like, what? This is supposed to be like a unity song. We telling the world about what you did not do. You don't want people to look at you like this. You need everybody to know it's just something you wouldn't do as molest boys. You're tired of everybody just complaining, saying that you're this type of person, making you out to be like such a messed up person, and you need Janet's help, but you're going to do, you know, your part at your time. I just was like, damn, and Janet was messed up about it. She was like, yeah. And then on top of that, I just feel like, you know, it wasn't a competition thing, you know, but Mike must have thought it was like a competition, because she was like, her people really had, you know, it set up like that. Like it was a competition. Like he didn't need to see what she was doing, and she didn't need to see what he was doing. And I was just, that made me think back to when me and my sisters used to cheer together. You know what I'm saying? Because when somebody is hiding out doing their part, like she said they was, and she mentioned competition, I thought about me and my sister's cheer. Like and y'all don't know this, but I used to be a cheerleader, you know what I'm saying? And from second grade to high school. My one sister's here from second grade until college. But yeah, in high school, y'all, we was rivals. We cheered in DC. We're from DC, okay? I went to Woodrow Wilson. She went to Dunbar. Her and her twin sister, my sisters. Her and her twin. And yeah, we was rivals. You know what I'm saying? Like, out of 15 schools, like, we were the shit. Our 2 schools, and we were always rivals. You know, we got up in the 12th grade, you know, we had the regular competition, and then it became the finals, and then they beat us, and then we beat them for the championship. Y'all remember that, Dominica Dominiques? I don't know if y'all remember that, you know, Lulu, everybody, y'all remember all that. You know, but yeah, we beat them. But it just made me think about when me and my sisters used to hide out in our rooms and was doing low cheering, because we didn't want each other to hear, you know, one another and what we had, you know, or they would cheer upstairs in practice and I would cheer downstairs in the basement in practice, and we really didn't want each other to know, you know, what our routine was. And it just reminded me, why would he be doing a whole nother thing away from her? You know, and they didn't mention this, but he was saying how somehow Michael made his vocals higher than hers or something like that. So yeah, it was just a lot of little trickery, foolery shit that they was trying to do, you know, to just make Janet not really a part of her and Michael union together to do the video, you know. So I was just like, wow. And Janet was really, really sad about it. She just couldn't understand why it was like that. But she did mention that Michael did have people around him that, you know, didn't really care for the family union like that. And yeah, he listened to them, you know. So I thought that was messed up. And yeah, to be honest, totally honest with y'all, as far as Michael Jackson, I think he just got too higher than life. Like, he just was higher than life. He became a mega star. He thought he was maybe better than Janet. That's the impression that she was giving us. She didn't outright say it, but it's basically what she said, you know. And I think at a certain point, he just felt like, I don't know how that feels. I don't know how that feels and don't want to know how that feels. How you can be on top of the world and you not even care about anybody that you used to love around you anymore. Like, don't even care. Because she said too, the one time that she had went to, you know, his house, that big old mansion, stupid mansion, they said, that's off the chain big with animals, giraffes, all this shit. But she said the one time that she did go there, they all went there as brothers and sisters for support of Michael because of all the child molestation charges. And they were there too to meet for because they were going to do a Jackson 5 tour. I'm like, what? Like, I'm just thinking to myself, who the hell wanted to see a Jackson 5 concert again? But obviously, somebody did, because I asked myself, I was like, are they talking about Jackson 5? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, girl. People still want to see Jackson 5. So, she was like, yeah, and they wanted me to open for it. And he was just like, oh, like, I ain't even say nothing. She said he was real cold, didn't hardly give no words, just like, oh, like, and just like so checked out, you know. And to y'all, I'm saying all this about Mike, but at the end of the day, maybe it came from his drug addiction. Y'all know he was on drugs hard, that propranolol stuff. And so maybe I think when people get on drugs, they have an addiction that they're always chasing, you know, that same high that they're trying to get, so they're really not worried about the people around them. So maybe that's what it was. You know, he was just checked out because he was on drugs, because it just seemed like the relationship that they had, you know, was a relationship that Mike would never act like that, you know. And just like she said, she was mad too, y'all, at the end when they was in the truck driving. She was like, you know, and we just did not act like that. The way that he's acting, we're not from that. Our family were really close knit, and we just don't act like that. I don't know why he acts like that, you know. And she didn't say I don't know why he act like that, but she just said the way that he acted, they're not from that, and she don't know why he was acting like that. At the end of the day, like, it's nothing that Janet could have did to save her brother, you know. And she really, I thought at the end of the day, she thought she could, because she was crying, saying how she just wished she could have been there for him, you know, more and everything. But you couldn't, because you was off doing your own thing for yourself, you know. So kudos to her and her brother relationship. I feel bad from the way it went down, especially how he died out of nowhere, you know, and did that This Is It concert right before we'll name your concert This Is It. So y'all, by 1997, the Velvet wrote, what is it called? It's Song For You, all them songs on there. Basically it went double platinum, you know what I mean? And at this point, I'm just like looking at her like, damn, so what? So what? Because there's so much that has happened in your life, girl, and this is starting to be a lot. From Renee, you know, basically exploiting you for your gender, You know, the fact that you're a female, and then acting as if he don't even care about. Let's speak on that. How does a man just watch his wife, you know, be stroked by a man like that, or kiss a man and be okay with it? And it wasn't just like the videos, it was also a thing what she would do in concert, as far as like lap dances and everything. She said he would actually pick the guy out that he thought, you know, was okay for her to do that on, you know. And one of the men was Shaq, but it just felt like he was pimping her a little bit, and I didn't appreciate it. I wasn't here for it. So she went through that. Then she went through all the allegations with Mike. Like she said, she is basically guilty by association. You know what I'm saying? The forcing of her father, wanting her to be in the industry, she did, and then finally, next thing you know, meeting Renee, him forcing her to be a certain type of way, thinking she was out of control, and she wasn't. Like, so Janet, and then finding out, what is his name? James DeBarge was on drugs when you really in love with a person and you gotta let them go because they have a strong drug addiction. Like, so Janet went through a lot, and by this time, when they said that Velvet Rope went double platinum, I was just looking at, usually you'll be like, oh, that's tight, that's tight. I was just like, damn, bitch, but at what cost? You know, it's just, her life at that point just seemed so exhausted, and now you can see why, you know, when you see them walking around and everybody like, oh, Janet, and everybody praising him and all shit, and they just looking like, you know, or just giving you some slight shit. It might look like they stuck up, but they just probably been through so much in the industry that it's just, they don't even care no more. It's just like, she was over it. You know, so kudos to Janet, but she's been through a lot, and at this point in her career, the album was really good. You know, what was that? Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone. That song was banging. You know, the Velvet Rope. It's a bunch of songs. It's a really nice sexual song on Velvet Rope. This Off the Chain. What was it? Anytime, any place. That was Off the Chain. Like. But at this point, like I said, like, can you get excited about anything, girl? You got a pocket full of money, double platinum. You know, this is not the first time. But when does it get old when you just want a regular life and quit with all these goddamn problems? You know what I'm saying? That's the part I left out, too. She said that, you know, she was an emotional eater. And, you know, she would gain weight, you know. And then on the set of Good Times, they was actually taping her boobs down at 10. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be developing at 10. And what type of, like, subconscious is that going to give a person when you're taping their boobs down as if they're not supposed to be there? Like, that's dumb. You should have gave her a training bra. You know what I'm saying? And let her go on her way. But to tape them down as if, like, I was like, wow. So that's another thing she, you know, felt bad about. Then she brought up the fact that Mikey used to call her pig, horse, you know, cattle, playing with her as if she was, you know, a little overweight. She was like, yeah, it was all fun and games as far as brothers and sisters, but it did hurt inside, you know, in hindsight. So she brings up the fact that, you know, basically after 9 years, she filed for divorce. She couldn't even do him no more, too controlling. She ain't really speak on why, but she just divorced him and was over it. Janet says she basically want a healthier future, you know, and she want to be in love. And I can't blame her, like, oh, this using and I need to be this way and be, just love me for me. God damn. So she meets Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine Dupri says they met at a concert, you know, and they just really wanted to be together, you know, and she was just like, he was a really nice guy, a good guy. And on top of that, she was glad that he was never addicted to anything, okay? So kudos to Janet for getting somebody who wasn't addicted to drugs. Like, how hard is it? I guess it was hard because I was like, Dad, why does everybody, you know, have to be addicted? My husband was like, baby, because that's what everybody was doing in the industry, especially back then. So, yeah, she's going to meet people who are on drugs. Okay, so basically she was real happy at that time. All For You came out. You should have saw in the video. She was really genuinely smiling. You know, it wasn't fake, it wasn't phony. She was really happy. She was away from Renee. You know, she had a new relationship, and next thing you know, here come Nipplegate. Okay, I was just like, what is this about? Because why did they pump it up so bad? And it just, okay, she was at the Super Bowl. Yeah, she was performing, her and Justin Timberlake. It was supposed to be some type of thing where he ripped something off of her boob and the actual material came all the way off and it showed her nipple and something hanging from it, and she looked shocked genuinely. He looked shocked genuinely. Like, I rewinded it like probably 15 times to see both of their reactions, and it just really looked like they both were shocked, you know? And I just don't think that she would do something like that on national TV. Like, this was on Channel 9 or something like that. I think CBS, I think she would take her career more seriously than that, and Justin Timberlake, to not do something like that. And on top of that, Janet I don't think she would do that in front of kids, knowing that kids were watching a football game, sitting around watching a football game with your family and you see a titty and a nipple. That just wasn't how the show was supposed to go. I know it wasn't. I can't even, and I tried to, look at both sides and be like, well, no, because she did show her breast on the Rolling Stone with the guy with Renee in the background, you know what I'm saying? So maybe I was just like, I just can't see nobody doing that on purpose. It doesn't make sense for somebody to do that. Not at that time. They were saying how she tried to sexualize the football game and that it was a PR stunt. And Jermaine was like, what? That's Janet Jackson. She don't have to try to do no PR stunt to get, attention. She's Janet Jackson. So, Justin Timberlake felt bad because, all of the hype was around Janet about it. And then you ripped her wrong. I'd have been mad at him. You know what I'm saying? And she got all the flack. But, she called him and was like, don't do a statement, because he was like, should I do a statement? She's like, no, don't do a statement. It's basically, it's wrapped around me, so just leave it alone for you. I will take all the heat. Okay, girl, damn. Who again? So you gonna take her from Michael? Janet went through a lot, and she's a strong person. So y'all, Congress is basically making a big deal out of it, saying, it was degrading to women. And, she just shouldn't have did that because it was kids looking at her and it was just disrespectful, But my question is, if this was a white woman, would she get the same type of heat? Hell no, you know what I'm saying? And, I don't think she would, because look at Madonna. All of the shit that she did. I bet you if that happened to Madonna on the Super Bowl, it would have just been like, oh, well, she didn't mean it, and they would have took her word for it, and you wouldn't have heard nothing about it after maybe a week or two. You know what I'm saying? But they ran this in the hole with Janet. And then on top of that, tried to ruin her. The Congress, they're going to raise a penalty on indecency, was doing the most. But did y'all get wind that this bitch is damn near a billionaire? Is that why? And she's black? You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if it was Madonna or one of these other little white girls, it wouldn't be this much heat behind it. But because she is a mega star, she's black, and she's taking probably all of the white people's money, then y'all got a problem and y'all want to pick her. So on top of that too, because of all of the things Michael was going through at the time, they probably, the brother was saying, they probably just wanted to piggyback off of that and keep on making a mockery of their whole entire family. So Janet tells one reporter that she wants to have as many kids as Jermaine would like, but that didn't happen because they ended up breaking up, and they both, basically agreed about why, and it's basically because he was cheating. She said she heard that he was cheating, you know what I'm saying? And he was like he was being a man. He was like, too, when women found out that he was dating Janet, that was a woman magnet off the break. Everybody wanted to date him. And not like before, so he did admit that, cause you ain't easy on the eyes at all, girl, okay? You probably got a bag and everything, but yeah, sometimes that ain't enough, girl, cause you still gotta look at your ass, and I ain't know what Janet like him, but kudos to her, she liked him. He even admitted, to that, he was just like, look, people was even more attracted to me because I was dating Janet, and I was just being a man, meaning yeah, I did cheat, Janet revealed basically that, he just ain't had time for her. He was working all the time around the clock. He would work all throughout the night. He would be in the studio. He would work all day. She was just basically okay, your girlfriend is music, and we all know how he's a music genius. That's what Jermaine Dupri does. And the making of Jermaine Dupri and Janet, y'all, is a part of the making of Jermaine Dupri, because that's what it seemed like. He was working so hard on him and his music that, yeah, he just ain't had time for her, and I did wonder how they would have turned out, because they really did seem like they genuinely love each other. I just don't know that they were in love. I don't know about that. People say they were, but I didn't see that, in the pictures or in the video. But, yeah, I think they were comfortable with each other. And, yeah, she had a 50th party or something. And Stevie Wonder was there singing. I did not know that Stevie Wonder was her cousin. So that threw me for a loop. I was like, wow, just like Casey and what's her name, Fantasia are cousins. I didn't know that. I found out that recently. So, y'all, Janet is on the set of Why Did I Get Married 2, y'all. That was a good movie. That's another good movie that you can watch over and over and over again because she played the shit out of that character. Her son in the movie had ended up dying at a young age, and yeah, she couldn't take it. Like, she was just like off her rocker. She was so hurt. She was messing a relationship up with her husband. Like, she couldn't take it, and she acted her ass off. Like, Janet seemed like she'd been acting forever. Like, Janet seemed like that was her job, acting. You know, she could have had an acting career because she was just like banging stuff around, giving all this type of emotion. Like, you could see her hurt that she had lost her child, y'all. Janet did the damn thing. But at the same time, y'all, Michael died. Right when she was filming this movie, and I just said, oh my gosh, she said she was so devastated. She said that Michael's death was really, really extremely hard to accept, you know, and it also made her question life, you know, and doesn't death do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, my husband, I guess is my family member too, his cousin died, you know, about 2 weeks ago from COVID, like unexpectedly. You know, he went in the hospital for, he couldn't breathe, went to the emergency room and ended up passing away. And rest in peace, Devin. And it's just like, you just look at life a little bit more different after that. He was just here. You know, like, I just was talking to him, like, and you know you have a time, like your time is coming, and we don't know when that time is, you know, but it really stops you in your tracks and make you just appreciate life, look at life a little bit different, and just be glad that you're still here, you know, and love your people around you. You know, it just makes you look at life different. And I felt her on that, so my mind kind of raced, you know, when she said that. Yeah, but yeah, that was a moment for me with losing him, because we were at the funeral and at the wake and everything, and just looking over his young body, it was hard, you know, and it does make you question life. Like, why were we even born into this to have to leave, you know? But that's a whole nother thing. The last time she talked to Mike, they said they love each other, like, and yeah, she said at least she has that, you know, so I was glad for Janet in that, you know, because we all get afraid of that, you know. Oh, the last time I talked to him, then, well, you know, because I remember, too, they had something in one of the movies, and the lady child had died. You know what I'm saying? And she said before she left out the house, she told him take out the trash, and was giving him a lot of heat about taking out the trash and yelling at him about it, and he ended up dying, you know? And I'm just like, oh, my God, that made me think about that. I ain't trying to get, like, real teary-eyed on y'all, but it's just certain things in life that go on that, you know, you got to be like, wow, you know, and you would not want to be the person who did not heal something with somebody who passed, or did not get to say, you know, I love you, or did not get to have that one last conversation with them that, you know, really, really mattered, and that you could take because you can't talk to them anymore. So I was really glad that she got that. Especially I was glad for Janet, because the relationship had gotten so rocky over the years, you know, and she did get to tell her brother she loved him and he loved her back. So good, Janet. So Janet has a baby at 50, and yeah, a baby boy named Issa, and she says she loves being a mother, you know, and I was so glad for Janet, but they did not show by who, you know. So I guess she was artificially inseminated, or she got somebody to carry the baby, something like that. But we don't know who the father is, and they didn't mention it. They didn't even open the door about it. They didn't then around about nothing. So we don't know. You know what I'm saying? I tried to get a peek of the child. It looked like the child was like really, really like lighter than me, like to the point where the father could be white. I don't know. This is just speculation. Allegedly, the father could be white. I don't know. But I would like to know who the father is, girl. Janet mentions that she's thankful for her father pushing her, because she understands now. You know, she really understands why he pushed her so hard. And, you know, because if it wasn't for him, she wouldn't even be Janet Jackson. You know, be Janet Jackson. So I'm going to read this to y'all because I thought it was important, you know, from her daddy. A reporter asked Joseph, do you still feel proud every time you see your daughter performing? And he said, well, one thing about it, I'm going to tell you so you'll know. She knows how to perform before people because she learned that at an early age. It makes me proud to see her doing something she knows how to do. So, yeah, something that you know, brought her into, and she eventually had a love for it, you know, so that was nice. So he died in 2019, so right after they showed up, I was like, oh, then he died. So that was sad, because Janet got really upset. So basically, she was saying how, you know, when he died, she was upset, and she said that she's glad she got the chance to tell him thank you. And when she said this, y'all, this hit home for me, okay? Because yes, honey, your girl told your father, I told my father about, I want to say about 8 years, thank you, you know? Because when you're being raised, you really don't know what the parent is trying to give. You know that they just giving too much, girl. You can't do this, you can't do that. Watch this, watch that. What are you wearing? Put it on. Like, it's just too much at the time. But what they're trying to build and instill in you, priceless. Priceless. And I appreciate every moment that I hated. I really do. And when you can just get what they were trying to give because you can see it in yourself, priceless, okay? Like, y'all, I'm like that. And I'm just not even saying that, like, I'm well-rounded because of my daddy. You feel me? And this is not nothing, you know, a dig towards anybody who didn't have their father, but y'all, I'm like that in so many ways because of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, off the chain. And nobody can take that away from me. It's what he instilled in me. It's what he wanted for me. It's what he told me I would and would not do. How I would dress if I did too much. You know, the things that I would say. Don't say this. Don't say that. Don't spend night over in nobody's house. He could touch you possibly. Like, I was never touched. My father protected me through every and anything. You feel me? And he always had my back. And not offering no dumb shit. Like, he was daddy and he stayed daddy and I have respect for him. And he never has to worry about losing that. Like, there's no words for it. So when Janet Jackson said, you know, she got a chance to tell him thank you, yeah, I did too. And I'm so glad that I did that. And as a matter of fact, whenever I do see my father, I tell him then, I'll be like, Daddy, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, because you do not know what your father is doing for you in the moment. You don't know. You just feel like he's been, like I used to call him Quentin, okay? I used to call him Presti Progresti. I don't know why this name came across my head, Presti Progresti. What is a Progresti? But I know he used to be pressed. You know what I'm saying? Who is that? Who is he? Why you going? Where you going? What time you going to be? And all this stuff, like, all the time, just always trying to pull a bitch back. Always trying to pull a bitch. And you just get so tired. You know, and then when you grow up and you see that he was trying to protect and give me so much that I required and needed as a young lady, as a grown woman, I ain't got nothing but respect for him and love to the highest, you know. And I said all this to say this, y'all. It still ain't enough words for the respect that I have for the man. Like, it still ain't enough words for me to, you know, say what he did for me and what he gave. You know, I just know who I am, and I know I don't waver with the world. I know that I remain Donna, and I'm always true to myself and people around me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't carry myself, you know, in a bad way, even though I feel as though I'm sexy. Like, I just never overdo, you know, Donna, because let me tell y'all something. If it was up to just me and I was just like, I didn't have a father, y'all, I'm telling y'all, the way that I am, you know what I'm saying? And this might be too much, but just the way that I am, the way that my mind is set up and the things that I like and the fun that I like to have and just who I am, my personality, y'all, I needed that nigga to pull a bitch back. You feel me? So I don't even know who I would be or how I would be if it wasn't for this nigga. Like, I don't know. I'm afraid to even think about it. You feel me? Because my personality is so, like, outrageous and crazy, and, you know, and then when my father, I always hear his words of wisdom and just, don't do that, do this, do that. It's always there. You know, your child's always listen to you. And that's another thing, real quick. If you raise your kids the best that you can and they get out in the world, they will hear you later. You know what I'm saying? I heard my father later on. They don't hear you right now, but they will hear you later. You just got to pray that nothing goes wrong when the time that they're not listening. You know what I'm saying? I got away with certain things. I got away with certain stuff, and I'm still here, you know, but at the end of the day, it might not end up like that for my kids, you know, so. But at the end of the day, you still got to let your kids know and discipline and raise your kids the best that you can. And yeah, that's what my daddy did for me. And I felt Janet when she said, you know, I was glad I got to thank him before he passed. So yeah, y'all, that is the end of this video. I got kind of personal, but that's who I am. Okay, y'all, and hopefully y'all can appreciate it because I'm just real, you know, and that's just how it is, you know, up on my channel, girl. Okay, so y'all, go ahead and subscribe, like this video if you like the video. It's like 8 o'clock at night, okay? I gotta cook, do some other stuff, probably edit this video down and just get out of this dress. But I will talk to you ladies and gents later. I think I'm going to still review I Kind of People, the last episode. I just don't know when, because I still got to write my notes and do Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion, which is next. That'll be next. So until the next time, I will see you ladies and gents later. Bye.